Hey, what you guys are about to see is an excerpt taken from a full hour-long session with Karuhat or Supawan. In this excerpt, we're focusing on his particular kick. His kick is the golden kick, which we call because it comes from the golden age. It has a particular trajectory to it that doesn't exist so much in Muay Thai anymore. But Karuhat himself has a golden kick that is unique to him. There's nobody else who kicks like Karuhat. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very, very fast. It's hard to read, and its score is really high. So please enjoy this excerpt focusing on his kick, and you can watch the full hour in the Muay Thai Library. Click on the link in the description below. Here's his demonstration. We call this the golden kick because it was very prominent during the golden age of fighters. The angle of it is actually very hard to detect, and it ends up getting past an opponent's block rather than coming wide, as one might see in a roundhouse kick. You can see how smooth Karuhat is though, and the way his chest floats forward towards the target. The looseness in his arms. So the last question is about his phenomenal kick. So he's complained to me over the years many times about how wide my kick is. His kick is a golden kick in that it comes up the side of the body and then angles in just at the last moment. But the thing that makes it Karuhat is that he floats on it. Look at how he leads with his chest. His chest is actually what drives towards the opponent. And then the kick just kind of... He's saying they're not necessarily the strongest kicks. He's like, but when the judges see them, they're like, whoa, soy. Like, that was a beautiful kick. It's not a like slam, I kicked you so hard. It's not a Yotsun Klai kick, but it's a beautiful, very hard to block, very hard to see, very high scoring kick. See how he gets up on the ball of his toe, but he like rises onto it, and then he's got the pivot, but he's not overturning. He can totally throw again off of it. See how he just... His head comes and then his chest, it's like he's coming out of water. So the kick kind of comes after, like the chest comes first and then the kick kind of follows. Nobody does this. Nobody kicks like him. So I'm saying, do you not have to step outside of the opponent? Because I've heard that if you step directly forward, they can kick out your standing leg. The thing is, his kick is so hard to see coming. People don't kick out a standing leg, but he has a protection built in, which is that when he makes contact, he pushes. So even if you're trying to kick the standing leg, you're getting kind of like pushed back. It's like a bar coming and like pushing you. Look at his shoulders when he kicks again. There's not a lot of rotation in his upper body at all. So there he was telling me correct on my like when I choose to go. We're both bringing our weight forward and back. Like when am I gonna kick? Like who gets to go? And he was like, yes, on when I decided to throw the real kick. But he just kind of, he did it towards the camera right there. It's beautiful. Just getting pulled forward. So we're going to show it in shadow boxing. See how he reaches the end and pushes and then controls the end of it. He just lands on the end of it. I'm like, you don't have to spin all the way around. He's like, no, no, no. You come and you push. So if he misses his kick, which I don't know that I've seen him really miss a kick, if he misses his kick, he has control on it. Like he's not going to spin around at all. But it also has an extension on it. So even if the opponent's like moving backwards, he's still going to reach them on the end of it.
Yeah. Chest is going. Chest is throwing out. It's toward him. Forward. Like he's going to fly.
He's saying it's like, I don't know what that is with the ball, the shot put. So like, but.
That's straight, not around.
I'm trying to do everything that his like chest is doing. I don't raise up on my foot at all like him. He's saying that I actually pull back before I kick. He's showing that I like wind up before I kick. But don't gang, like don't be tight. Okay, Karuhat.
Better. It only turns at the very end.
He sees my shoulder go back. I can't even feel that I'm doing it, but he sees it. It's a little tell that I go like this before I go. He's all just like flat, and then it comes forward. When I do the switch kick, it's a little bit easier for me because with the right foot stepping to the front, I come forward flat rather than twisting, which I do when I'm trying to kick with my right. He's so fast. And then as he's switching his feet, he's covering ground so that when he actually throws the kick, he has room to push me back with it. You realize he's kicking, it's just a little bit too late. Like it's very hard to do anything about his kicks. I'm all like doing this. So we're gonna work on this kick more. We're gonna go over to the bag to show it how to work on it on the bag, which is where most people will be practicing this. But you get to see kind of how it comes up the side and then kind of angles up. It like hits up into the ribs in a way that's painful. All right, so firstly, watch his feet. Look at how he starts, look at how he steps, and then look at his overall posture as the kick is being executed. See how he just kind of glides forward, and his foot lands at an angle so that he's not, it might be because he's on cement. When he was in the ring, he was pivoting on the ball of his foot more. He might be stepping with his foot angled because of the cement. It's a little bit grindy on the feet. But look at his hips. See him do it in shadow, how he just kind of like pulls his hip around. But watch here. He doesn't turn his chest very strong. He turns his hips, but he doesn't turn his upper body a lot.
I can.
Shh. Relax. Smooth. That kick is hard, guys. He's like, the kick goes when you're about to hit the target. It doesn't go when your foot is on the ground. That's how it becomes really wide. If you're like, I'm wailing my kick while your foot is on the ground, that's how you get a really wide kick. He comes straight up, and then he's like, now I'm going to blast you, and it turns at the last second. Look at his hips.
Oh, he doesn't turn over at all.
To me, it's like a soccer kick. It's like when you're going to like
his shoulders don't turn.
punt the ball all the way across the field. It has this little like pop, and the trajectory of it is kind of like up and over. He's saying the leg comes up naturally, tamatat, very natural, like you're just like kicking your leg into the air, and then it turns at the right moment. I'm saying some people go too wide and some people do like a Rockette's kick straight up. His is a blend between the two. It's up and then just kind of bop at the last second. He's saying it's in the shoulders and the chest. He's like, you go. It's like you're walking. He just takes a normal step forward and then it goes. But he's touching his shoulders. He's showing how they don't super turn. It's a little bit better just because my like first step forward, I'm not taking my first step with a twist. Like the twist is later. But here he makes a point that actually mentally made no difference to me, but actually doing it was different. He's saying it's the same as a teep. For him, a teep, you really twist your hip. He does kind of like a smart side teep like this. And he's showing how it really comes from your hip turning. He's not turning his upper body. His upper body stays like this, whereas his lower body goes for that teep. You do that in the kick. Upper body floats, lower body flips. So I've been teeping long enough that I know the teep does not come from the leg. So somewhere in the workings of my brain of the leg, the teep comes from the hip, and putting that together with the kick made it come from my hip rather than the leg.
But somehow having just done the teep with my hip, the kick comes out a little better.
That's a little better.
So I think it's that when you teep, I don't think of using my upper body, but when I kick, I use my upper body. I'm asking Kevin to film Karuhat from the back so that you can see, watch his shoulder blades and his shoulders and how his upper body stays as he's throwing this kick. Look how it's just like a block. So fast. So we want him to throw a bunch like in a row so that you can see. Watch his feet, his hips, his shoulders. It's so fast. And he's super balanced coming off of it too. He's like flop and then he's just down.
You do it so we have the other copy. Like
So now Sylvie's gonna try. This is
so you can see.
a little better. My shoulders are a little bit more like coming forward. When my right leg comes down, I come behind myself a little bit. He doesn't do that. So he's showing again how I was like twitching my shoulder back in order to load up for the kick. And he's like, you don't have to wind. You just come forward. He's saying it's the same as a jab, how you just come forward like this. But he's talking about the kick. I'm saying this is the same as Chumuk Pet. Chumuk Pet in the Muay Thai Library is amazing, and I noticed it in the second session more. His torso doesn't move. So if you focus on his torso, you don't see him do anything, but you're already being hit because this is very stable all the time. So here he's continuing on this point that he's making about how you just go. This is something I see most common in elbows. When people are trying to throw an elbow, myself included, they don't think that they're doing it, but they're totally like loading the elbow. They think they need to like make space for it. If you watch someone's back, like where we were filming Karuhat from the back on his kick, it just comes forward. It's the same as how if you watch Sagat in the Muay Thai Library, he sticks his elbow to his ribs, so the punch just comes out from here rather than like around. So Karuhat is like, the kick is the same as the punch. How you're not like winding on it, you just jerk forward. It's so hard to see. You can't see it. I'm saying he does the same thing when he's going backwards. When the opponent's coming, he just takes kind of a like natural step backwards. He's not doing these like super twisting, like I'm parrying out of the way. He just kind of like melts slightly off to an angle. Look at how still his shoulder is. Again, Karuhat is not a power puncher. He's not a power stylist. I don't know any power punchers who wind up. You're not supposed to wind up. But his style, if you want to be Karuhat's style of like invisibility cloak, Ning, you can't see it until it's too late, melty, all of this stuff. This is how he does it. He does not rotate. He just kind of slips everywhere. I realized at the very end that when I'm bringing my weight forward, my chest is actually pointed down towards the ground. Karuhat's like, your problem is that when you come off of it, you slip forward, and as you're coming back, you bring your feet together. He's imitating me. I do that apparently. Boop, and then you get hit right as your feet are together.
His chest is always up.
He's very
Come forward, my
symmetrical.
chest is down, and then I can't get out of the way.
My chest points towards the ground. When he takes a little bend forward, his chest is still
He's like, no, you
forward.
come all the way back.
So his balance is really equal all the time. Don't bring your feet together. If you're gonna lance forward, you bring your feet back behind you like this, but not like together. I love Karuhat. Hey, so that is an excerpt taken out of the most recent session with Karuhat Sorsupawan in the Muay Thai Library. We actually have many sessions with Karuhat in the Muay Thai Library. He teaches a lot about his style, and this one actually serves as kind of a Rosetta Stone in understanding a lot of what he's been teaching in those previous sessions leading up to it. So if you enjoy this, absolutely watch it. Go back and watch his other sessions. As well as that, we have more than 120 hours of long-form instruction in the Muay Thai Library from the greatest legends, crews, teachers of Thailand. So there's lots to learn. There are also documentary projects, interviews, tons of things to see and learn. So if you're interested in that, you can become a patron by clicking on the link in the description below.